Okay, so welcome. So today we're gonna do a little bit of vSphere as well as vCenter and VMware View. I'm installing the web server IIS, hitting next. Installing ASP.NET, adding all the required roles. I'm also gonna do the basic authentication as well as all Windows authentication, and next. And I'm gonna hit install. So I'm basically doing this in 3 machines. I have my domain controller up and running. I got my VM View machine and also my vCenter. I am installing my vCenter first. I don't know if the web server role as well as the .NET. I know the .NET feature is required to install on the vCenter. The web server, I don't really know. I have to do some research on that. But the last time that I did it was when it was vCenter 4. I don't think I installed web server, but I'm just installing it because I know during the process it tells you about something about web server. I'm going to close that. I'm going to go into features, make sure web server is up and running. Going to go within the sites. I'm going to edit the binding because later on vCenter does look for the 80 port. So a web server, the default website is on 80, it's gonna terminate the installation. So I just changed the port to something else. Going to start the vSphere 5.0 installation. Hit install, hit yes, press OK. This is where the IIS comes from. Again, if you have a website already that has port 80, you're going to have a conflict between them, but because we changed the default site to 81, we shouldn't have a problem. So I'm going to hit yes. I'm going to hit next. Hit next again. I agree the license agreement. Hit next. Give a username. Then give the organization name. I don't have a license key, so I'm basically doing the EVAP mode. Leave the option of the MySQL. I'm not attaching this to our SQL database, so I'm gonna let it install SQL on it. Press OK on that. Next. Next is a standalone. Leave all the defaults. We're doing less than 100 hosts and 1,000 virtual machines on this machine. Hit install. Don't worry about that. It's going to go to process of extracting the files on the machine. It's going to start installing what it needs on the vCenter. Once it does that, it's going to start installing the SQL instance on the machine. So I'm going to the domain controller, and I was making sure if I have a user and a group. I did create a VM view user. VM view user is basically the user that will use the client to connect to the virtual machines, and the VM view admin is the account that I use to log into my vSphere as well as my VM view. I don't really know what's best practice when it comes to creating accounts. Most likely I should have created a vCenter admin account, and as well as I should have kept the VM view admin account separate. But in this case I didn't really do that. I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. I'm going to command prompt. Sorry about that. Again, I'm doing all this stuff on a virtual machine. It's running pretty slow today, so I do apologize for the delay, everyone. Running an IP config so I can get the IP address of it. And the reason why I need the IP address is because when I go to VMview, my VMview server, I have to attach that to it to connect it, as well as the vSphere client. When I want to connect directly to my vCenter, I have to use that IP address. So I'm going to exit out of the splash dialog box. Come on. There we go. I'm going to open up my vSphere client, and I'm going to log in into the machine to see what else I have to do. Before I do that, I'm going to go into the vCenter machine, go to the server manager, and add the account that I'm logged into the administrative group. I'm going to configuration, expanding configuration from the server manager. Again, it's taking a while. Machine's been acting up really slow this morning. Go to local users and groups. Go into groups. Once that loads up, I'm going to double click on the administrative group. I'm going to add the account that I'm logging into the vCenter virtual machine, which is VMview admin. Press OK, add apply, OK, close that up, open up the vSphere client, and I'm going to log in into VMview admin. I'm going to ignore it, and I'm going to give it some time because it needs to get net. It needs to discover all plugins as well as do the rest of its stuff for me to get into it. Loading the inventory, discovering the plugins. And here we go. I don't have a full license. I only have 60 days until it expires. Press OK on that, and that's it. 4 steps. 1 step, I have to create a data center. And if you are viewing my episodes, I believe in one of my episodes I do go over installing ESXi 5 hypervisor. So before even the video started, I rebuilt another virtual machine with the ESXi 5. If you guys don't know how to do that, please check out one of my episodes. I forgot which episode is it. I believe it's either episode, it's probably episode 8. No, it's probably episode 6. I believe it's 6. Not too sure. Again, go to youtube.com, check out my channel, BJ Tech News YouTube channel, subscribe. You get the latest videos that are coming out. So far, I'm up to episode 10, which is this episode. So if you guys enjoy it, please comment or subscribe to my channel to get the latest news and tutorials on technology. Or just email me. Go to my blog site, bjtechnews.wordpress.com, and shoot me an email and tell me what you want me to do. Any videos that you guys are interested in seeing, let me know. Okay, so the virtual machine, my ESXi, is up and running. That's the IP address. So we're going to go back into the vSphere client. I'm going to add a new data center, give a name of the data center. So it's one more time, click. Yeah, there you go. Gonna give it a name. Gonna give it BJ Tech. I'm gonna right click on it. I want to add a host, and the host that I'm gonna add is the virtual machine that I started up. Now let me double check. It's 148. Give it the username. Give it the password. Hit next. Once everything is correct, hit yes. Looks good. Hit next. Hit next. Dope. Hit next. Hit next. Let me finish. And give it some time. It should be connecting to it. It takes a while for it to connect because it needs to actually talk. Again, I'm not running all this on a huge T1 line or anything. This is a cable line, so connecting to it's gonna take a while. It depends. From my experience, it normally takes. It's been a little faster when I've done it in the past. When I used to do vSphere 4 and had about a bunch of 1950s, and I installed the EXI on them and I added all of the hosts into the vSphere. It was pretty quick. But for vSphere 5, I've noticed that it takes a little time to provision the hosts and make sure everything is correct and right. Alright, looks like we're in business. Everything is good. I'm going to create a virtual machine. I'm going to right click on the host, new virtual machine, follow prompts. Real simple. I'm not really going to do an installation of an OS. I just want to create a empty virtual machine so we'll be able to view it in VMware. In VMware, later on, I'm going to show you guys how to create a terminal services. VMware does come with a client installation, not a client, an agent installation, which converts a virtual machine or an actual physical machine as a terminal pool desktop. So that's pretty cool. Right here, I'm giving it 1 gig. Hit next. Hit finish. That's it. It's real plain, real simple. No OS. I just want to show you guys that it shows up in VMview when we get to that. I'm gonna minimize this. Bring it back my virtual machine VMware workstation. Let's go back to VMview. Now within VMview, you gotta make sure all the updates are pushed out, as well as a couple of other things. Like right now, I believe. I don't know if you do need web services IIS as a role installed to it. I'm not too sure. I'm going into the server manager. I'm configuring the IE settings, making sure the stuff is off. I really hate when you go to a site and it's constantly popping up for it to be added. That's annoying. So I disable that on that option there. Let's go to configuration. Go to local users and groups. Go to groups. Go to the administrative groups. Click on add. Come on. There we go. Click on add. I'm gonna add the account that I'm logged into right now, which is VMview admin, to the administrative group. Close this up. I'm gonna go to the IE. I'm gonna go to the browser. The reason why I'm going to the browser is because the VMview do require one thing. It requires the latest and greatest Flash player. So once the browser is up, I'm going to go to Google and type in Flash player download, and I'm going to download the latest and greatest Flash player. Again, I do apologize for the slowness. You know, my virtual machines this morning have been acting up. I do have about 5 virtual machines running. Ask me later. Go to Google. Let's do a search for, come on. Let's do a search for Flash player download. First link, click on the link. Okay, let's go to the bottom. Blah blah blah. Read that if you guys got time. Go on the bottom, and you want the Windows version of it. I'm gonna click on that. I'm not gonna save it. I'm gonna run it on the spot. Get prompt. Let me hit no. Let me double check something real quick. Okay, this is the latest one. Hit run again. Hit yes. I want this to be installed. Alright, I'm going to close the browser, because if not, if you don't close the browser, Flash Player won't install. It basically will prompt you need to close the browser or close any applications that you have running. So you need your browser closed. I'm going to check this off first, then close the browser, hit install, give it some time, and we are done. That was pretty fast and quick. Let's double click on the VM view. Before I do that, let's go to roles, and we need to install IIS like I mentioned earlier. Hit next. Web server, IIS, hit next, ASP.NET, add all the required roles, go down, basic authentication, Windows authentication, next, install. Give it some time. Alright, so we're finished. We're going to close it. We're going to go to features, add features, and we want to install the .NET framework features. Hit next, and hit install, and just wait. Okay, we're done. Close that. I'm going to close this window. We're going to go to start, do an IP config, check what IP I have. VM view does need a static IP address. You can't just have a dynamic IP address. So you have to assign in a static IP address. When I did some testing on it and I installed it on my virtual machine, I didn't have a static and it was going crazy. Like, oh, you can't do this because you don't have a static IP address. So assign an IP address, which is basically what I'm doing right now. Going to the local area connection properties, going to the IP4, using the following IP address, which is what my DHCP server is providing right now. And you go default gateway. Awesome. Press OK. Pressing OK. I'm gonna exit out of this command prompt. Close this. Give it some time. It's still thinking. It's still thinking. Come on, exclamation point. There you go. Awesome. Let's double click on our VM view connection server and let's start this up.
can read all this information if you want. You're going to hit next, next. You're going to set the agreement, next.
And right here it gives you 4 options, different servers that we want. You could do a brief read up on it. If you go to my blog again, bjtechnews.wordpress.com, you get a little bit more information of what all 4 of them mean. But the one that we want to do is the view standard server. Hit next. TC port 80 is already in use. The port needs to be available for the product. And the reason this is happening is because we install web server IIS on our server. So if we press OK, our installation is going to be interrupted. So we got to go to IIS and change the default website port 80 to something else, and then restart our installation, and cross the fingers and hopefully it works. So I open up IIS Manager. Let's expand this. Go to Sites. Go to default websites. Right click. Go to Edit Bindings. Edit the 80 ports. Change it to 81. Press OK. Close that. And we're going to restart. There we go. X that out. And we're going to start the installation again. There we go. Hit yes. Okay, hit next, accept the terms, hit next, leave the defaults. We want the view standard server, hit next, configure the Windows firewall automatically for us. There we go, install, and it's going to start installing when it needs to install. us to our portal to log in administrator. Okay, this is not a good thing. What's going on? Let's close this up. Do it one more time. Nothing. It's probably what I did with the IIS and changing the ports. So let's go back to IIS and let me check something out. Okay, IIS is up. Let's expand this. Expand sites. Go to the default website. Right click. Edit bindings. If I change the port to 80, what would happen? It probably is going to give me an error saying it's already been taken, and that's what I want to know. It's been taken already. Close it, restart it. Bam. Yes, because it's being used by something else. So let's go back to edit bindings and change it to 81. Let's close this up. So for Service Manager, let's click on Configuration. I want to check something out. Go to Services. I want to check if the services are running to see if all the VM view services are up and running and started. I should have what I should have done is when I installed the View Administrative Console and all the plugins and stuff, I should have rebooted the virtual machine because most likely all the services didn't start it. So we're gonna start it manually, and the ones I'm gonna start is the View Connection Server as well as the web component. Okay, so that's done, and let's do this again. Hopefully it works out. If not, I can always do a reboot and cross the fingers and see if that works out. Sometimes when you start these services, it does take a while for it to start kicking in. So there's a good chance it might not work right away. So hopefully let's cross the fingers and see if it starts up. And no, it did not start up. So it's probably I probably might have to do a restart, but I want to check something out. Let's close this up. Let's cancel this. Let's double click it on again. There you go. It looks like it's good to go. Yep, I reckon. Let's continue to the website. Excellent. This looks good. Most likely, if you did not install Flash Player, warning will pop up saying, "Hey, you need the latest and greatest Flash Player installed on this." And if you don't install it, you won't get to this portion. So I'm logging as the username that I'm logging into the virtual machine, and here we go. That's the first thing that you do. You want to edit the license. This is a trial-based mode, so if you guys use this, if you use this serial number, hey, by all means, go for it. I only have about 25 days left. It actually ends June 24th. So if you guys want to use it, go right ahead. Still need to get the installation files. Okay, so we actually got our VMview server up and running, so that looks pretty good. Everything looks good. Okay, so what I want to do is when I go to servers, and within servers we're gonna add our vCenter server that we created earlier in our video. So I'm going to go into BJ's dash vCenter. Going to go to a command prompt. My memory is kind of off track, and I'm going to do an IP config and check what's the IP address on the vCenter. And our IP address is 135. Awesome. Let's go to the server. Let's type this up. Provide the username that has administrative rights to the virtual machine. Give a description. And press OK. Give it some time. Alright, and it's good to go. So our vCenter is it's already configured, and our VMview is reading it. We're going to create our first pool. Let me see how the automated pool, what it does. I'm going to go to the domain controller. I'm going to create a group, and the group is basically anyone that's in this group will have access to the pool and what virtual machines are inside the pool. So very basic. Let's do a VMview group. Let's go back to the vCenter again. Let me see what automated pool does. Okay, this looks decent. Look, it reads our vCenter. That's great. Hit next. Let's give it an ID, a unique ID. And this group would be for only the IT people. Hit next. I'm going to leave the default settings by default. Hit next. And provisioning setting. This is new to me. Again, this is all new to me. This is all first to me. But if someone that does view this video understands what's going on in this portion right here, hey, let me know. I'm still learning this stuff. I'm probably not doing it the way it's supposed to go with best practices. And it seems that I can't find a template. Alright. So let's go back. Go back again. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. And let's do a manual pull. Let's see what manual pull does. Looks like it's less settings on that. Okay, dedicated, yes. Yep. Awesome. Yep. 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 Okay, so it doesn't show IP address. It doesn't show any of the virtual machines I have on my vCenter. Okay, so let me refresh it. Nothing. What's going on? I know I created a virtual machine. Let's go show. There it goes. But it doesn't let me click on it. So what does that mean? Probably Ubuntu is a Linux box is not compatible to view. Strange. Let's get into the vSphere client. Let's create a new virtual machine. Let's see if my theory is correct. If Linux machines are not able to connect to it. Let's call dummy VM01. Hit next. Give it a platform of Windows 732. Hit next. Hit next. Give it 2 gigs. I'm not really installing anything into it. I just want a dummy virtual machine, plain Jane. I just want to see if the VMview console reads it. Give it some time and complete it. Awesome. Let's go back. Let's do a refresh. There we go. And I'm able to check it. Excellent. So it's probably that. I'm not able to do a Linux. I need to do some research on that. Let's hit next. Ready to complete. Sure. Finish. And there we go. Awesome. Our first pull. So what's next? What's next? Let me think. Oh yeah. We need to let's go to desktop. Okay, terminal services. Yeah, let's deal with the terminal services. Now, terminal services, there's an agent that the VMware View has, and it's an agent that you install on a virtual machine or a physical machine that you want, that you basically install all the latest and greatest software, all the updates to it. You pre-package it, and you install the agent, and the agent becomes available to whoever has access to it. Okay, so real straightforward. Just follow all the prompts. Hit next. Next. Yes, you want to enable the remote desktop on the computer. Provide the server, which the server IP. The server IP would basically be the VMware IP address. So we're gonna locate it. We're gonna open the command prompt, do an IP config. Found the IP address. Into the IP address, I'm going to specify the administrative credentials for it. Into the password. Hit next. Hit install. Give it some time. Okay, So it looks like the installation is completed. That's good. That's always a good thing when stuff is completed and it tells you it's successfully completed. So the next thing that we want to do is click on finish. And once we click on finish, I believe it prompts you for a restart of the machine. And come on. Yeah, I do apologize for the slowness. And there we go. Yes, I want to restart this and let the machine restart. Okay, so let's log in. Don't really need to do much because the agent's already installed. I don't think you need to log into the machine at all. I just log in just for best practice to make sure nothing crazy, no errors pop up. Now let's go back to the VM console, and we need to create a pool. Wait a minute, forgot. Before we create a pool, we need to give access to someone with the pool. So we highlight the first pool that we created, go to entitlements, change the domain, and find everybody. Remember the group that we created about a couple minutes ago, the VMview group, and let's look for it and add that group to have access to our first pool that we created. And where are you? Where are you? There you go. Press OK. Awesome. That's what we want. Let's go back to the domain controller and let's add members to it. I'm going to add 2 members. One is going to be the VMview, which I created a regular VMview user. It's just a regular user with no type of access. It just has domain controller access. And I want to add one more. How about let's add one more just for the hell of it. Let's add VMview admin. Apply that. Okay, so I got two people that can log in to get access to this pool. Okay. Press OK. Okay. Double click on it. When you double click on a pool, it gives you more information of what's what. Okay, so those are the group. That's the group that has access to it. Let's go back to the pool, and we want to add our terminal services. Let's go to terminal service desktop. Nothing's there. Other, nothing's there. So it only means you have to create a pool. It looks like you have to create a pool before you do anything. Terminal services pool, that's what we want. Give it an ID. Give it a display name. let's say only the marketing people will have access to this particular terminal service. Hit next. I leave the defaults the way it is. Hit next. There goes our virtual machine. Hit next. Hit finish. And we're done. We're good. Now, let's go back to desktops, go to terminal services, and there goes our virtual machine available. Awesome. That's good. And as you can see, VMO1 actually started. I didn't start that virtual machine, but it started by itself once we added it to the VM view, which is pretty interesting. And that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm not gonna wipe clean the virtual machines. I'm probably going to keep the virtual machines around so I can play around with the VM view clients, and I'll probably post up part 2 and show you guys how to access these virtual machines, access the virtual machines from the vSphere client using the VM view client, as well as accessing the terminal service that we created. So again, if you guys enjoyed the video, think it was worthwhile, please subscribe to my channel. Please comment on the video. Give me some feedback. Tell me if I need, I need any improvements. But again, please subscribe, and I appreciate it. Thank you. And once again, this is BJ Tech News coming at you. Hopefully, we will be back with episode 11. Thank you.